Morning Market Movers, where we do live analysis for day trading and take a look at hotspots in the markets for today, Monday, June 6th. My name is Todd Rich. I'm with Nadex. With me from Keep Trading Simple, we've got Brian Caprice. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, one, not really any headline news. And no news apparently is good news. So we've got a quiet week in economic numbers. We do have a big day on Friday with CPI coming out, and Friday could be an interesting day, and maybe the day before that is people position going into that number. But for now, it's pretty quiet on the news front, but we are having the markets move. We're seeing a bit of a reversal from Friday. We had a sell-off in the equities on Friday. Oil took off on Friday, got up to $120 a barrel. Well, oil backing off a little bit. Nat gas, on the other hand, absolutely exploding, punching up towards $9 again. But we got equities looking to open in the green, so reversing a bit of Friday's action. That's what we've got. We're going to be spending some time on the charts. Before I flip it over to Brian and we jump into those charts, I do need to share this disclaimer that trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for everyone, that any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. And this is an educational session. Please do not construe anything Brian or I say as a buy or sell recommendation. We are doing this for your education purposes. And just a very, very quick peek, you can see, oil ran up on Friday. Here we start on after the weekend, and it's starting to pull back. On the other hand, if you take a quick peek at nat gas, it pulled back late in the week, and then here we are, just took off on the open last night and has done nothing but creep higher, and now we are right at $9. So interesting. Um, Definitely got some technical levels to look at. Brian, I'm going to flip it over to you. And
Sure.
we can, there really is not much in the headline front, so I know we'll be moving quickly over to the technical
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah, there's not much. Really, even in the currency market overnight, the only thing that is moving whatsoever is the pound right now. Pound dollar up 54. The euro pound again showing us kind of the strength between the people across the pond. Down 27, which is for Monday morning, it's a significant move. It is starting to retrace though a little bit now, and then pound yen 66. The only headline you're like, well, why is the UK moving? Boris Johnson's getting in trouble. I guess he faces a leadership vote, right? After the Partygate scandal, people are still mad that he had parties during COVID. It's like, okay, it's like,
Well, he's getting
like
they're giving him a vote.
right. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of these things
Confidence.
like with everything going on in the world right now, we're worried about a guy. I mean, he had to get together. It's like, all right, whatever. It's I don't know. I don't care. I know I'm sure there's people that are angry about it, but it's whatever. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like to me, I put it on the same front as do you go how many miles per hour do you drive over the speed limit? Because technically you're doing the same thing. Maybe
Right.
Boris drives on the wrong side of the road occasionally, right? Just to be a lawbreaker. So who knows? But yeah, that's the only real news. There's nothing really else out there. Some of the other, I would say, bigger kind of things out there. Um, China favors a relationship reset with Australia. Their relationship has kind of deteriorated as they went back and forth, talking about tariffs, import, blocks, and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be interesting. And again, what this shows me right now, if China wants to reset with Australia, that shows you that the conditions in China are starting to get better. When obviously you're kind of bottling everything up and you're crushing everything, you don't need your I'm not going to use the word drug dealer because it's wrong, but they get all their natural resources, right? If you're not needing those things, it's okay to be angry with that person. But when you need those things again, you got to make sure that you're on good terms with them. So again, China's like, hey, Australia, we should get back together, be BFFs again. So, could be a sign that China is going to start having their numbers pick up. But besides that, there's really nothing. Obviously Japan talking, but again, it's yes, we got it. Japan is weak. And that's it. It's crazy. There's nothing this weekend. No major headlines. There was some Ukraine headlines with missiles being fired and I guess allegedly tanks that were just shipped in were blown up at the same time. At this
Yeah,
point,
no.
people are so kind of immune to it. It's kind of like we had that COVID fatigue. I think we're starting to get Ukraine fatigue at this point. They're not even showing us major headlines, and because of that, the market is back on kind of risk on today. There is one major. I don't want to say loser, But there is one major market mover out there. I told Todd he should lead with this, but he didn't want to freak everybody out. But I have to say, I
Oh,
can't
yeah, right.
not say Amazon, right? It's down 95%. No, it didn't. It's not
No.
down 95%, but it's just funny seeing it over here that, Amazon had their reverse split today, or actually, I guess they're split today.
No, they're split. Yeah, they're
Reverse.
split.
They're split. So technically, the price from the close of the open went from $24.47 all the way down to $124, but it's not like it dropped. This is going to be one of those things that trading algorithms are like, holy crap, there's a gap here. It's going to fill. Maybe. I doubt in my lifetime it's going to fill. But
it could go right
but
back.
you see something like this, you're like 94%. Oh my god, what happened? It's literally
Stock
just a
split.
stock split. So,
They did a
yeah,
20 for
so I'm
1
sure there'll
stock
be
split. Yeah, the
yeah,
charts will
so
have
there'll
to
be
figure
some
that
movement
out.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some movement in Amazon today, but right now it is a risk on type day. The VIX is up a little bit, like 1%, barely, just above where we closed. All the indices obviously up, right? Right now, I guess the leader right now is NQ, and I would expect that again with the stock split. That one will probably, again, anything tech based, will be like, yeah, it's going up. Okay, it'll drag other things. We are at a level right now, that I will point out that if we are seeing some profit taking from the European session, and really the European session kicked in kind of right here where this kind of basing level is, it's been up. So again, it's kind of risk on. If we see a reversal, it will be probably sometime around the open. It was pushed down last time that it was there, but it's a decent basing level. So, I mean, we got a lot of room up top. There's not necessarily a trap. I mean, if we start to pull back now, then yes, there will be a little bit of trap in there. But right now, where it is, there's not really one. And again, there's no real major headlines right now to really justify it. And again, I didn't really do that. There's nothing really until 6:30 p.m. tonight. There's zero, and I had this set on the lowest impact, and there's still nothing.
Nothing.
The only big thing, the next big thing we have coming is at 12:30 a.m. Australia's raising their interest rate by 0.4. We'll see if, again, they love these like weird numbers, right? 0.35 to 0.75. I mean, 0.75 at least is getting back on the quarterly method, but who knows? Maybe they'll go more than that. But there's nothing. So again, lack of any news out there, that tends to be a good thing. And again, looking at everything, taking a grand picture of it is more risk on. So, NQ the picture looks exactly the same. I mean, if we take some fibs on this one, it is also in a profit level right now. You can see we're kind of fluctuating back and forth in the 61.8 level. There is kind of you may look to say, well, wait, is there a reversal in here? And I would say if things suddenly turn negative, and I'll tell you, if they are going to turn negative, I'm going to tell you why they will turn negative. But right now, we don't necessarily have the reason. We do have one later in the week. But right now, you can see we're fluctuating back. We do have a level of basing. There's a bit of a Harry Potter trading here. So if it does turn negative again, NQ is the strongest. I mean, the market is the market. I mean, we just need one headline and things can move. But that's kind of where you're seeing it. If we do get a price break below, and again, I don't know if it's going to be today, right? It may just do nothing but go straight up. But I'm in if this then that trader. When it does finally break through 12,705.50, gives us a little confirmation. There is a run right here all the way back down again. So, I mean, this is a trade for, I don't know, it could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or it could be Friday, right? But that's kind of what I'm looking at. There's one opportunity there. And YM, kind of the same thing. Looks like ES a lot. Came back up and has bounced off. We know that there was sellers in here before. We're not at an extreme level in that one. That one is coming a little bit higher up here. I don't need these fibs. We can adjust them, I guess, a little bit up.
I mean,
we can adjust them. Yeah, you can see it.
The Dow is really. I mean, it's almost come all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are some levels, but it looks just like the ES. It is up in an area where sellers have existed there in the past. There was no real major news or anything like that. There's no headlines to really sandbag it today. But again, there is that one asterisk, and I'll tell you that in a second. And then Russell, kind of the same thing. Russell's pushed all the way back up, and it's Russell's up in an area where we've had sellers as well. So 3 of the indices after big rallies up early morning, they're all in areas of selling, but there is no really kind of fundamental or headline, but kind of risk right now that is out there. All right, so just keep that in mind. On a purely technical level, they are all in sell areas. And again, the way to play this is, again, drop it down. Now, I'm on the 30s right now, but if you go down to like the 15s, you can look at really any of these. You can look at this and say, hey, listen, there's a lot of basing. It's having a lot of problems, and there's that major area sitting right there. Is this a sell? It potentially could be. See what it does in the next probably 15 to 20 minutes. Again, the 15 minutes is typically how we like to trade the open and look for some movement off of it. Kind of see if it goes up or down. If it goes down, then again, a lot of times it'll push into one of these levels in here, and it could be an opportunity to go long. But again, no crystal ball. We just know that the last time that price, approached 41.61, we know there's sellers there. If there was no sellers there, price would not have been able to stop. Don't know how many are there right now, but I know there's at least one, because if there wasn't, the price would have went higher last time. So we know that there are sellers, absolutely without a doubt, stepping in right there at 41.61.50. So the true question is how many? And if there's a lot of them, that will be the area where it turns. So maybe we pull down, rally up to start off the day, and that could be a reversal level. Again, that's where technical trading comes in. You got to kind of see, and these are always a little bit weird. Now, energies have moved. Oil pulling back a bit. Yeah, oil pulling back a bit, and I hate to say it, it's pulling back. It's in the red.
Oh, it's all the way down to 118, 119.
Yeah, I mean it's down 0.13%. So yeah, it's red, but it's still 118.75. Again, all the comments we heard last week are up. There was actually an interesting article. I sent it to myself, and I meant to have it ready, and I completely forgot about it. Obviously, you guys know my mom's situation with everything. She actually got admitted. I think she's coming out of the hospital today, but it was a crazy weekend for me. But I did find an article that talked about how there has been absolutely zero investment into any new refineries or refining technology. And what the guy said is, why would we? All policy for the last 20 years has been nothing but we need to get away from oil. We need to crush it. We need to kill it. He's like, we can't go to shareholders and say, we need to do this investment. We need to spend $1 billion that will take 2 to 3 years to pay off when everything is to destroy our. So they said it was very interesting that it's been more the policy and the last probably 15 years of kind of direction from the government, which has led us to this. That this is not, you can't blame Putin for this, that this is our lack of preparation. And it makes sense. We've been driving to this clean energy for so long. Is that we've taken zero investment. We could do things, but no shareholder is going to pay for that when, the entire, and I was like, that's a very interesting read. I never thought about that before, with all the drive towards alternative, technology. So we're stuck with the 118.90. Is it going to go higher? I keep saying that I feel like it is. I feel like the end of this is not here. Saudi Arabia can say that they can produce more, but at the same time, remember, it's not that there's not enough. I mean, yes, I think there is probably a bit high demand right now, but the price of oil, if you're going to blame it on Putin, it's because people don't want Russian oil. Right? That's why we want to stop the war machine. Just cut the oil off. So it's not that we don't have the oil; it's that you don't want certain oil. They still have it to sell, and there's no agreements that says other countries that we don't want to have cheap oil that will get it. That's kind of where I think at some point the government's going to be like, all right, we need to kind of back off this a little bit because, the FBI has said that there are certain countries in the world, I'm not going to say who they are actually the biggest threat, and it's not Russia. Well, Russia happens to be good friends with them. So eventually that's all going to come back into it.
It would be China.
Yeah, I didn't say it. Todd said it. But again, while this is down 0.0, it's about to go green again. Natural gas did move. It is moving right now, and we talked about levels back up here at $9 again, and it did go over. It was up to $9.05. It is up 5.8%. Is the biggest mover once again. I will say, I'm going to fully admit this, guys. We were almost out. Melissa's been on a baking kick. She's been doing cookies and, yeah, lots of baking. And I was like, normally we don't have to fill natural gas. I actually had to fill the tanks of propane, and it was $2.99 a gallon. I was like, oh, can I just? He's like, you want to half load? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice that it'll go lower by fall when I need it again. But typically I fill up once a year. But I was like, man, we got to stop cooking pizzas and cookies. It's just not working out well for me. So I hate to say it, I did it. I pulled the trigger. It was $2.99 a gallon for propane, which thank God I'm not on natural gas because that's even more expensive. But it's up 5.8% today. Now, is this a selling opportunity? It is at a technical level where sellers are, but I'd be very, very cautious. Again, oil is one thing that literally Europe could block and it wouldn't be the end of the world. Natural gas is an entirely different equation, and I do think that, again, Russia's always for that, tit for tat type thing. Oh, you do this? Okay, we're going to do this. They cut, oil off completely. They may say, fine, we'll cut natural gas off as well, to the same percentage. You never know what games they're going to play. I do think this has the ability to go higher. I would actually be looking for more of a pullback opportunity into a buying area. But going into the start of the U.S. session with it already up at $9, it's like, now I hate to throw it out there, and I hate to say this, but could we potentially have a 10? And what would it take for us to get to 10? I mean, that's all the way up there, and it looks like it's a big reach. But if you just take one of these, one of these major market moving days, I mean, there's one day. Actually, I'm on a 15 minutes, so that's not even one day. Yeah, you take one of these just large pushes. There's one day, and then bring this up. You can see that from there's $10. So we're not that far. So it's crazy that we're a day or 2 days from being able to hit $10 in something like natural gas. And the question is too, when are the buying habits going to change? When are people going to start requesting electric stoves and no longer natural gas because of the prices of it? I know some builders are already starting to talk about it. So that's big. But it's risk on. Gold holding firm right around that 50. Looks like it's taken off. Silver up 2.4%. Big day for silver already. And again, there's sellers up here, but we've hit these sellers a few times. We've actually broken through the top. If we can pull back right now, this could be where we get the next push higher. Question is, can we get to 22? I mean, we're basically at 22.50. We already hit it. Can we get up to the 22.75 and back up to 23 again in silver? Is it time for that to take off? But again, showing you risk on. This could also have to do with China reaching out. And the cryptos, they're all off as well. Bitcoin up almost 5%, just under right now. It was up a little while. Ethereum up almost 6%, back over 31,000 for Bitcoin, and even Dogecoin is up 3% there. So and again, bonds heading farther down. So today is a risk on day. It looks like the bulls are going to start dominating today. Again, everything is risk across the board. Now, with lack of any headlines, it could be bad. But I said I would tell you why I think it's good. But there's one big contagion. If you guys looked at Friday, you guys remember last week on Friday, it was like, oh, this is great. The jobs thing's looking better. Maybe they're not going to have to raise interest rates. Well, the CPI forecast right now, month over month for this Friday, is 0.7%. Previously, it was 0.3, and everyone was like, oh, inflation, it's topped, it's working, pat us on the back, it's doing great. Well, we just go into 7. It's 2.5, over 2 times, right? They were talking about a potential peak, but look at the acceleration. And we knew before that there was an acceleration before last year, but the year-over-year number, it was that one acceleration came off. Well, here's the acceleration coming back again, and still positive. We're still 2 interest rate rises in. We know 2 more are coming at least. And the question is this Friday going to be doom and gloom day on Friday with this number?
We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll see what we got for Friday.
I think early week bullish movement is going to be the name of the game. Look for it to go high, just in time for that CPI number. And who knows, maybe we get a miss on Friday. But right now, again, drop it down to your 15 minutes. Look to see where the action is. Right now, it looks like it's stabilizing. People are like, what's going to happen? Right now, I'm kind of leaning more towards a negative open or a negative movement from the open. But we still have a pretty nice little padding from where we closed on Friday. So that's it for today.
All right. Yeah. No news, just what we got on the charts. So with that, any questions for Nadex, please email us, customerservice@nadex.com. Brian and I are also accessible. You can email Brian at support@keeptradingsimple.com. My email address is todd.rich@nadex.com. And the quick recap, no headline news. Markets are looking to reverse what we saw on Friday. We're seeing equities take back some of the losses they gave up on Friday, looking to open in the green. We'll see how the retail trader feels about that when we start trading in 30 minutes. Energies, the other hot spot. I'm saying, oil backed all the way off of $120 a barrel down to 118, but still ridiculously high, and nat gas taken off to the moon. Brian and I will be back tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Love to have everyone here on a Monday morning. We got an exciting week ahead of us, at least certainly for Friday when we get those CPI numbers. But we will see you tomorrow morning. And until then,